FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. And our conversation with the Indiana County Veterans Providers Group, brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And in the studio with us this morning is Dr. Cory Shay from IUP's Military and Veterans Resource Center. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Todd.
It's been a while since we had you here.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Yeah, my goodness. Has it been that long?
I think so.
Wow. Hey, you've got a big event coming up. It's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow we're teaming up with Career Link over at IUP to celebrate veterans. We're not really calling it Veterans Day celebration since that was this weekend, and we never do our things on Veterans Day because, you know, Indiana County does so much in the community for veterans, so we try to do...
They're busy then.
Yeah, they're busy that day. But yeah, we got an event going on tomorrow. We're going to hear some guest speakers, including the president of our student veteran organization. There's going to be an Italian-style buffet, and Pastor Bernie from the local minister is going to be there to speak in, a veteran of 3 different branches of the service. Mm-hmm. So it should be a great event as we honor our veterans and military members.
Sounds really nice. So where is it?
It will be in the Elkin Hall in the Great Room from 4:30 to 6:30. It's open to the public, so everybody's welcome. We have community partners there, members from our Indiana County Veterans Providers Group who offer services. So if anybody needs any resources or anything, they will be there to assist and help veterans.
Yeah, nice. So a free event. Do people need to sign up ahead of time or just come?
They just need to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were requiring sign-up, so at this point, if you want to come, just come. Stop by tomorrow, Elkin Hall, the Great Room.
Nice, nice. Now, for veterans, of course, there are a number of issues, and we always like to catch up with you from time to time because you tell us what's going on at IUP in terms of veterans and active military as well. So let's spend some time visiting on that topic because I know that anytime I talk to you, there seems to be something new going on at the Resource Center, or at least bolstered services, and you're able to help more.
Yes, that is true. I mean, we're continuing to always evolve our services. The big thing that just recently came into law that I'm now working with my partners across the state system to try to figure out how to implement was a couple weeks ago, Governor Shapiro signed into a law giving any dependent of any veteran, regardless if they're using benefits or not, in-state tuition at any public community college or public university in the state of Pennsylvania. Uh-huh. So now we're working on trying to figure out, because our biggest military-affiliated population at IUP is actually dependents, spouses, and children. Mm-hmm. So now we're working on figuring out how to get this implemented. Obviously, policies need to have to be written up and everything. I think that's a great benefit, and I think I applaud the governor and our state senators and assemblymen for making that happen.
Yeah, well, it gives more people the opportunity to pursue a college education.
Right.
And to do so at a reduced rate is always helpful, and probably helps you in your outreach to veterans in other states.
It does, because now they can actually come to IUP or to any of our public universities in the state with reduced tuition, as you said. And it's not only just dependents, but also any civilians or people working at military posts in the state of Pennsylvania can also now pursue a degree in Pennsylvania at in-state tuition rates, as long as they're residing in the state while they're attending classes.
I would think that that being the case, and the number of services that you have, plus the recent, you got another designation as a military-friendly university at IUP, that has a lot of people looking at IUP as a choice for them to come, because I know it's a welcoming atmosphere for vets.
Yeah, and recently one of my colleagues wrote an article about our resource center for Veterans Day. And one of my student workers, who's the president of the student veteran organization, basically said what she loves about the Military Resource Center is it's a safe space for our veterans and military members on campus. It's a place for them to connect with fellow students, because when you look at the research, veterans do better when they're able to connect with fellow veterans and military members, because we all have a like mind. We all have similar backgrounds and experiences. It may not be exact, but we've been through the same things together.
Yeah. Well, one of the way that is phrased is interesting to me, because it's not that it's hostile to veterans outside of the resource center, but it's just good to find a welcoming center where you're around people who have that same shared experience.
That is correct, and it gives them a place to talk about their military experiences with people who've had those experiences, because sometimes when you talk about them with civilians, it's hard for civilians to relate. And plus, in today's politically charged climate, sometimes, veterans might be reluctant to talk about things going on in the world, even though they're greatly impacted by them. I know my student workers are looking at the things currently in the Middle East, and they're anxious about it because they may or may not end up getting deployed. We just had one student who just found out they're going to get deployed here by the end of the year. So it's an anxious time for them, and I think it's great that we provide that space where they can talk to fellow members of the military and veterans and ease some of those anxious moments that they may be experiencing.
Yeah, that's a great point, though, because there are enough active military members in the IUP student body that they need that kind of support. They need to know that there's somebody there for them to help them through this because they don't know. By the end of the year, they might be in a whole other part of the world.
That is correct.
Yeah. All right. So at the event tomorrow night, what are some of the things, some of the highlights that will be happening?
There's going to be a welcoming. There's going to be the president of SVO is going to be talking about some of the work they're doing, especially in the community, and how other people can get involved, not just students, but how anybody can actually get involved in the organization and help them. There's going to be a dinner. It's going to be Italian-style buffet. I'm going to give a little welcoming speech and talk about Veterans Day and talk about my experiences. And then we got a couple guest speakers after dinner.
So, and it's good for veterans and for active military to be there.
It is, because the big thing is that we're going to have our providers there, our service providers there. And as we experience at IUP, and as our service providers experience, as people leave the military and things, they don't know what all they're eligible for. They don't know what all sources are out there, resources are out there, what benefits they're eligible for. So there's going to be people from CareerLink, the VA, from various other organizations there to answer any questions they have and help them learn about any resources and any benefits they may be eligible for.
It's a pretty confusing world.
It is.
And especially when you get into the university setting and what is there that probably lies beneath the surface and we don't even know is there available to us. It is in civilian life, and for those who are affiliated with the military, there are things out there for them that can be of a great benefit to them. Getting them to actually use the services sometimes, though, is a challenge, isn't it?
That is our biggest challenge. I mean, trying to outreach. I mean, we have 834 military-affiliated students at IUP, roughly 9.5% of our student population, and trying just to get even people who aren't using GI Bill benefits to understand that we still have valuable resources that they can use. We still have a space that they can use. Just the other day, I got an email from a National Guard member who's having issues with their CAC reader. Well, we have CAC card reader access in our computer lab for National Guard members that they can come and use. They weren't even aware about. So just trying to get that outreach to our students to let them know what we're here for. And even like dependents, as we were just talking about them getting now in-state tuition here, it goes into effect 60 days after Governor Shapiro signed into law. They don't even realize the number of scholarships that are available for them out there from nonprofit organizations. I mean, there's a ton of organizations that offer them scholarship money, and nobody's aware of it because it's just not known. It's not published out there in the public space.
Be a terrible thing if they were reaching into their own pockets for things that others have stepped forward and said, "We've got that covered for you."
It is, yeah, and they're, like I said, they're not even aware of it.
Yeah. So tomorrow night will be a very important event just from that standpoint.
That is correct. Yeah, trying to get the word out about our center, about resources available. And even people who have served, they come back and, like, when it comes to their GI Bill benefits, they don't know what all they're eligible for. I talked to a number of veterans. They don't realize that once they leave active duty, they get 5 years of free health care through the VA. Not aware of it because somewhere along the way there's a communication breakdown between when they leave the military and when they enter civilian life on what they're eligible for. And that in itself is a whole other issue, which we can't solve with IUP. I wish we could, but we can't.
Yeah. Dr. Cory Shay with us this morning, IUP's Military and Veterans Resource Center. Do you find that people who are veterans and no longer in the military and those who are active right now in the military, that there's much interaction between the two of them? Are those experiences being shared with the young folks who are still in the military so that they can understand what's going on?
I think there is some sharing. I think there could be more done as far as community goes. I mean, that's why a lot of universities have created such a space like our Military and Veterans Resource Center space, so this experience can be shared. I know one of my student workers is a veteran who's now actually going through ROTC to become an officer, and he often talks about his military experiences with those who are currently in the National Guard Reserve or on active duty.
Yeah. Resource Center's been there for not a lot of years. How many years has that been going? And you've been there since the beginning, right?
I've been there since the beginning. It will be 10 years come if it opened in February of 2014, but it officially was the blue ribbon cutting ceremony was April of 2014, so almost 10 years.
Yeah, so it's coming up on 10 years that IUP's Military and Veterans Resource Center has been operating. And since you've been there from the beginning, you can remember back then to what it was like then and the expansion of services, the refinements that you've made over the years. It really is quite astounding, isn't it?
It is quite astounding, and since we've opened the center, I mean, our military affiliated population has grown by over 50% since we've offered that. Of course, the big expansion took place in 2015 when the Office of Veteran Affairs, which handled the GI Bill stuff, was combined with the Military Resource Center and created our current platform. So then we now are providing the GI Bill benefit expansion. And, of course, just expanding every time there's a change in state or federal laws, which have, since I've been there have been 5 major changes to federal laws.
Yeah, my goodness. All right, so tomorrow night, vets, family members, anybody interested, really, Elkin Hall's where they need to be.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be military related. You don't have to be a veteran. If you just want to come and honor those who have served or those who are currently serving, tomorrow night, Elkin Hall, 4:30 to 6:30. Free meal out of it. Come and join us.
How can you beat that? Dr. Cory Shay, thanks so much.
Thank you, Todd.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. We're just about 2 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Fox News is coming your way then. And then we follow that from our WCCS newsroom with Josh Woodison, a check of sports on the way too, and more of Indiana in the Morning.